Betfred Super League trophy. Please welcome recently retired two-time Grand Final winner, Gareth Ellis.
Yes, here he comes. He hung up the boots, a Hull FC player. He made his Super League debut last century, back in September 1999. He brings out the Super League trophy, one he lifted twice with St Helens in 2007 and 2008. Fans sadly absent here from the stadium, but we have been entertained by a beautiful rendition of Jerusalem by Laura Wright that followed a 25-year montage of Super League's greatest moments. We say goodbye and thank you to Gareth Ellis for his contribution to rugby league in a most wonderful career. We will, of course, farewell as well Sean O'Loughlin and James Graham. Before we go to our commentary team, let's get a quick prediction from Danny Maguire, Jason Robinson and Phil Clark. Who wins the 2020 Grand Final?
I think Wigan will win. I'm going to go Wigan, but St Helens by 4.
There you go. Let's go to our commentary team. It's Barry, Bill and Terry. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Brian. Wow, it has taken 10 months to get here, but after a season of turmoil, sacrifice, and at times desperation, Super League has reached its finale. The grand final here at a magnificent KCOM stadium. It's the top two competing for that big prize. The Super League trophy, the league leaders Wigan facing the reigning champions St Helens. And what a night this promises to be. What a game this promises to be. The last meeting between these two sides, which Wigan won, was an absolute no-holds-barred humdinger. And I suspect we are in for more of the same tonight. But before kick-off, we will have a moment to remember all those whose lives have been affected by COVID-19 this year. And also, we'd like to say thank you to the country's incredible frontline and key workers, and we will have a moment of silence in respect. So much experience among these teams. 43 Super League Grand Final appearances in Sean O'Loughlin's Wigan squad. 37 Grand Final appearances altogether in the St Helens squad. Massive experience, and yet this is something new for even the most experienced of players, Terry O'Connor.
Yeah, it sure is, but you know, you look at both sides here. I was watching them in the warm-up build. They come out, they were so confident, and you mentioned the game 4 weeks ago that these two sides were involved in. The intensity was absolutely ridiculous. I remember saying about 25 minutes into the game, there wasn't a try, and it took until the 29th minute for Lachlan Coote to score the first try. But Sean O'Loughlin, James Graham, a lot been talked about them and finishing their careers, but let me tell you, there's 34 players that are going to take this field tonight, and they are going to rip in from the kick-off.
Well, before we kick off, once again, for the last time this season, in actual fact, the players take the knee to show respect for Black Lives Matter. Chris Kendall is our referee tonight, in charge for his second successive Grand Final. His touch judges Scott Mikolauskas and Tom Grant, and the video referee is Ben Thaler. It's going to be Wigan who'll get us underway in their usual cherry and white. Saints not in the red V, in the blue V tonight. But don't worry, Saints fans, they've tasted success in this strip as well in a grand final. Barry, already!
I come desperate to get in, Bill. Did you see the line speed and the determination from Willie Isa straight from the kickoff? Both sides will look at the middles, they'll look at the big men, try and restrict those meters and restrict that momentum. Set the stall out, Willie Isa.
Well, Alex Walmsley's first touch of the game. You can see that knee strapping after the knock he seemed to pick up in last week's victory against the Catalan Dragons. But I think they were being very cautious in that game, making sure that Walmsley was fit for this big contest, which he is, which James Graham is, his Jake Bibby, a grand finalist last year in Salford colours, scored in fact their only try of that game. Here is Bevan French now, and Saints will be keeping a close eye on the Wigan fullback, a dream team pick, of course, this season. Quite a few of them out there, dream team choices. And he is a threat, as is Lachlan Coote, the Saints fullback. Bullock plays the ball just inside their own half, and Partington is quickly closed down. The young man can expect plenty of attention. He has been giving it out this season. The high kick. Coote is underneath it, claiming it comfortably.
Well, they would have talked for it in the opening days of the week, saying about, look, you've got to expect some intent, something wide. The opposition's going to come out firing. There's a few scores to be said as well. Like I said 4 weeks ago, the game was incredible. I've never seen a game like it this year. How ferocious that they were. They just tore into each other from the start. And the way that they're going to go about the business in this game, it's going to be tough. There's the first penalty.
First high tackle of the game. It was on Bentley.
James Bentley standing up as well, not happy with that. Good footwork. He comes back on the inside shoulder of Liam Farrell, one of the 5 nominees for the Men of Steel this year. It's been an outstanding season for him personally. But first penalty in the favour of St Helens. Sorry, Bill.
Rush of blood early on. Bentley on the receiving end of it, but no harm done. And here is Walmsley now. And Saints advancing only about 15 metres or so away from that Wigan line. Here is Theo Fage. And now Zebtea. A lot of talk about Lachlan and Graham leaving, retiring. Zebtea is moving on as well, leaving the Saints. Here is James Graham now, hoping to bow out on a high note after his illustrious career. Gets the ball away. Roby will drive for the line, but he is driven back by the Wigan defenders, almost back from where he came. And Fage will try. Fage is stopped just short of the line as well. 4 tackles gone. The referee calls time off.
Or is it James Graham? James Graham, who got that offload away. A little bit of frantic play from St Helens, some offloads from second phase. And James Graham, well, he doesn't stay down unless there's some concern.
It's the left arm that is the problem.
He's underneath, right in the rib cage. We know Thomas Luluai.
Well, he hits on suspicion, doesn't he, Thomas Luluai? He's expecting James Graham just to come on that little short ball at the road. He's nice and relaxed, knowing that he's not going to get the ball. Only managed to last 21 minutes last week. There'll be a lot of eyes from the Wigan forwards on James Graham. You can see the whiplash. He's looking at what Theo Fage is doing. He's not expecting the hit from Thomas Luluai.
Well, that goes in the memory bank, doesn't it? Especially in a big game. Last one of the year.
It's going to take more than that to keep James Graham down for too long. And Lomax trying as well. That's the 5th tackle now, and Saints 3 thrust towards the line. A kick from Roby, and Walmsley was chasing it.
Well, all about trying to build some pressure in the right area of the field. Saints are really good at this. On the last play, they looked up over the right-hand side, seeing if anything was on. There was no real call to James Roby. He takes control himself, kicks the ball through. Alex Walmsley is going for it, and the ball's just knocked dead.
Yeah, I think he's called. The referee who's right on the spot is correct. James Roby already having a growing influence in this game. Just a couple of minutes, and that's a wonderful kick.
It's a goal line drop out, Collis.
Alex Walmsley only a fingernail away from it.
Okay, Jackson.
Jackson Hastings trying his luck there, suggesting that it was a restart on the 20-metre line, but it's a goal line dropout. So we had the first penalty, we've had the first goal line dropout. Ooh, James Graham runs into a big tackle from Willie Isa. There's no sentiment out there.
And let me tell you, you don't really want to be carrying the ball after you took a shot in the ribs like that, but he was tasked with it and he come up with it.
Here is Wormsley winding up for a big charge at the Wigan defence. Christian Wolf looking on anxiously at the opening salvos from this game, which are mainly being fired by St Helens, and Wigan are sustaining a bit of a bombardment. Lomax tackled by Hardaker. Here is Graham again. Wormsley puts the brakes on, and Singleton, twice a grand final winner with the Leeds Rhinos, makes the tackle. Brad Singleton. So Farge hoists the kick. Makinson will challenge for it, and it's claimed by Joe Burgess.
Well taken, probably one of the biggest on the pitch. Joe Burgess, you can see Saints now will try and really get off the line and do some damage themselves in defence and try and force an error.
Well, Wigan, with Bevan French, have survived.
That's a good kick. That's exactly where you want it. Pressures the opposite. And again, just trying to restrict those meters, getting the numbers in, making it slow for St Paul. Will be a big plus back in this side after missing last week.
Here is Oliver Partington, his first grand final. The 22-year-old, and Hastings kicks, doesn't get much distance on that, and he was pressured, and it was Graham doing the pressuring. He is everywhere in the early moments of this game, James Graham. He wants to bow out on a high.
A good start from Saints. It was a good defensive set, only 26 metres made by Wigan Warriors, and a deep kick. And look where they are now on tackle 2, just about approaching the halfway line. The arm wrestle is in action as we speak, Bill.
Zebtea, his 108th St Helens appearance, his last. Is he going to go out as a winner? They are 40 metres away from that Wigan try line. Thea Farge. Here is Bentley. In outstanding form, James Bentley. Roby now. Thea Farge, and Farge again with the kick, again into the corner. Oh, Bevan French went for it, and it's Hastings. But it was a knock-on by the Saints.
And again, coaches will talk about getting to the end of the set, getting to the kick, turning the ball over on your terms. Tommy Makinson goes up for it. Might have been a little nudge from Joe Burgess, but he loses the ball, goes forward. And you look at both of these sides last week in the semi-final against Hull and against Catalan. Neither side conceded a try. Defensively, they were absolutely awesome.
Good defence from Saints there to drive Burgess back.
Oh, yeah, he ends up a little bit dangerous there. Gildart with his hands fairly low. He's keeping his legs pumping, and Zebtea, firstly trying to halt his progress, secondly trying to lock up that ball. They almost flip him. Yeah, and thankfully he comes away from that unscathed, everybody.
Penalty apiece then. Wigan will welcome that. Adrian Lamb, Coach of the Year in the Betfred Super League Awards. Very proud to achieve that accolade. Here is Willie Isa. And now Joe Bullock, 28 years of age today, Joe Bullock.
It's a good carry. Good carry from the young front rower. Not young, is he? He's 28.
Liam Farrell. And Wigan venturing into Saints territory. Farrell plays the ball. 3 tackles gone this set. Hastings, here is Luluai. Luluai gets it to French, and French trying to wrong foot the Saints defence, but Morgan Knowles will have none of that. Knowles makes the tackle. Here is Hastings now. Partington. And Wigan, 5th tackle at 25 metres away from the Saints line as Hastings goes to air. And Regan Grace claims that one comfortably, almost slipped the clutches. Hardaker and Isa making sure he didn't. And Coots scoots. Good run from Coots.
Oh, he's so composed at the back, isn't he? Regan Grace gets that and just pokes his nose through the line. Here's Tommy Makinson again. The back 3 for both sides make lots of meters, getting the side going forward before the big units get onto the ball, the likes of Graham and Wormsley.
Graham runs into another big shot there.
He's not well, James Graham. You can see he's holding that rib.
It's Wormsley. Wormsley with the run, and Wormsley, good job that Brad Singleton stopped his progress as Wormsley was making a dent. Lomax with the kick. French plenty of time.
There's an escorting back play here, Bill. As you see that kick go up, it's high, and the chasers in the blue and white shirts of St Helens, as you see, Zach Hardacre, left shoulder, little bump to Regan Grace. Easy penalty, good field position here for St Helens.
James Roby just checking with his colleagues as to the strategy. So this is a golden opportunity for Christian Woolf's side to break the deadlock here. Coming up to 10 minutes as Wormsley, another strong carry from the Saints' number 8. Roby, here is Theo Fage. Fage, nice ball back on the inside to Lomax, but the Wigan Warriors were waiting for him. They're only about 8 metres away, maybe, St Helens. Here is Graham once more. If he is struggling, he is brave, but whoever doubted that about James Graham? They're playing the Warriors, but there is a true warrior in this Saints side, and here is Lomax. Lomax gets a pass away to Zebtair. Good work by Hardacre up top, Willie Isa down below. Roby to the short side, little kick from Coote, well picked up from Bevan French. Good hands from French on his own try line. And it's meant to be good, that.
Yeah, there's a bit of panic, isn't there? Whenever you kick the ball and you don't get to it, you're looking for where Bevan French is, the game breaker that he is. A bit of panic, and all of a sudden the magnet, the defenders just come flying in. Both sides are really feeling each other out there. So I'll guarantee, you know, if the Wigan defensive coach, Matty Peake, would have said to the Warriors, go after Wormsley, Graham, McCarthy, Scarsbrook and Amo. All 4 of those were injured last week. Let's just test them out early, see how they are.
Hastings loops the ball over the top to Zach Hardacre, and Hardacre immediately hounded down by Lomax and Graham. Here is Hastings, and Hastings having to kick from deep.
Bill, 12 metres on that occasion the Wigan side made when they were trying to cart the ball forward. There is intent in the line speed from St Helens, but they're not missing many tackles. It's smothering defence from the Saints side.
Well, they've had the better of the opening 11 minutes here at the KCOM Stadium in this Betfred 2020 Super League Grand Final, that's for sure. And here is James Graham. Graham, lovely little offload, and Roby puts the foot to the floor. Bullock makes the tackle. Wormsley, here is Theo Fage. Fage, Morgan Knowles now. The Welsh international just inside the Wigan 20. Here is Theo Fage now. Fage, Nagama quickly on to Makinson, nowhere for him to go, immediately goes to ground. Kevin Nagama, score of a hat-trick last week. Good hands, it's Nagama again, it's Makinson. Makinson, little flip inside, but Wigan will be happy with that defence.
They're just running out of space, then they go back to the short side. They just can't get Makinson free before he's forced out of the field, and the change of direction by Saints, the aggressive running from them, the forwards, the field position that they've got on, what Barry mentioned about just 12 metres that they made carrying the ball. Saints are well and truly up for this defensively.
They're on top early on. John Wilkin, former Saint, is pitchside for us tonight. John, what do you make of the opening 12 minutes?
Yeah, well, I agree that Saints are well and truly up for this defensively, but how hard are this Wigan team to break down? Saints have had a lot of pressure, applying a lot of pressure, but Wigan's defence bends but very rarely breaks. Fantastic edge defence from Wigan. It's just a question of how much energy they're expending repelling Saints right now.
Thanks, John. More from John Wilkin in the course of the game. French. Burgess takes the pass. Joe Burgess, another one of the experienced campaigners in this Wigan side. And Hastings makes a bit of room to get the kick away, but it's into the arms of Regan Grace. Eyes on the ball as he claimed that, and they've got to be careful. We saw what he can do if you kick to him and leave him room to run against the Catalan Dragons last week. He was gone. Here is Makinson from the other wing. He's always looking for work, Tommy Makinson.
Well, 172 metres he made last week in that game against Catalan. when they scored 8 tries. It says Zeb Taylor and Johnny Lomax, just look at how controlled they are with that attacking shape.
Good shape to this attack. Nagama, Hastings, a great game as hooker last week for Wigan in Sam Powell's absence. Sam Powell back tonight. There he is, just on the edge there, wearing 9 for the Warriors as Graham takes the tackle. Here is Theo Farge. Farge, again, they put the kick in, and Farge is left on the ground, and there's a roar of disapproval from the Saints coaching team on the sidelines. But Farge is back on his feet. He's a tough cookie.
You just get the feeling, don't you, when Saints kick to their right and kick to Joe Burgess, it's a better set for them defensively. There's the kick pressure from Liam Farrell. He's up quick and perfectly legal, and just letting the small, diminutive halfback know that every time you get to that last tackle, you better watch out for me.
We're going to be glad to have Sam Powell back, well as Jackson Hastings played last week, but Powell has been rock solid this season in his 5th grand final. And Wigan again having to kick from well inside their own half, and that kick comes down in Wigan hands, but they're offside.
Well, the Warriors just trying to get that valuable field position from some strong defence, but got to make sure that they work with the referee. The referee's trying to work with them, saying, you're offside, stay out of the play. You can see him just pointing with his right hand, telling them to stay back.
Feeling the cold, Adrian Lamb, because it is chilly night here in Hull. Also maybe feeling a little bit anxious because his side have done a lot of defending in the opening 15 minutes of this contest, and Saints have been asking the questions. Here is Morgan Knowles, try scorer last year in the grand final victory against Salford. Lomax, Zeb Tears, tear to Coote gets away from the first tackle. Willie Isa, Zach Hardacre eventually stop his progress. Lomax now, Lomax to Coote once more. Now he's Roby, only about 4 meters away, 4 or 5 meters away from that Wigan line. 4 tackles gone. Farge, here is Lomax now, Lomax toying, takes the tackle in the end. It's the 5th. And what will Theo Farge come up with here? Farge, it's a little angled kick, and it's 6 to go, says the referee. It was played out by the Warriors.
Yeah, Ollie Partington just stuck his foot out then. Not going to let the ball go through to the fullback, Bevan French.
Big opportunity for the Saints here to break through.
They are clinging on here, Wigan.
Roby's pass, Farge, short ball, good defence. Stops Morgan Knowles in his tracks. Here is Lomax, and Jack Welsby cuts back infield, but just had to adjust to take that pass. It was just behind him, lost his footing. Here is Walmsley wraps it up, runs into the Wigan defenders. Farge now, Farge again, kicks crossfield, Makinson climbs, bats it down to Nagama. Nagama's bundled into touch, and Wigan survive again, but how long can they keep on surviving?
This is outstanding defence. John Wilkin talked about Wigan and their line proud. As soon as it looks like one of the mates is in trouble, there is a cherry and white shirt rushing across. They don't surrender, and they don't concede line breaks. They lead the league up until this point. They're the meanest defence, and you can bang and bang and bang on that door, you will not get through.
I agree. The defence has been brilliant, the scramble's been brilliant, but like you said, Bill, how long can they keep holding on? They are brutal when they're attacking or defending up near your try line. They whack harder than anybody, but near their own try line, nobody wants to defend.
Conversely, Saints might just at some point begin to wonder, we've got to start making the most of this possession, because surely the tide is going to turn at some point, and Wigan are going to get their turn. Tony Clubb is on. As Christian Wolf sends down more instructions, and Hastings kicks high and deep and into the hands of Lachlan Cootes, one of an elite bunch of players who's won grand finals on both sides of the world in the NRL and in Super League, Coot.
There's one of those runs from Tommy Makinson. Bill, you said Tony Clubb is on the field. We talked at the early stages of this game about Saints and how they would attack the middle. Well, Powell, 21 tackles. Singleton, 20 tackles. Joe Bullock, 19 tackles. They're going down that middle channel, tiring the big man out. Early kick from Roby.
Looking for a 40-20 and not getting it, just a thing short of the line.
Only just, there must be a millimetre in it. An intelligent kick from Roby early on in the tackle count, way behind the 40-metre line, and it just bounces, just takes a late, skewed bounce by the experienced warhorse.
How good is James Roby? No, he could play 80 minutes week in, week out. He could do 60 tackles, but his skill level never drops.
So Wigan looking to break the shackles that Saints have got on them in the first quarter of the game. They have hardly ventured into Saints territory. Can they do something this set of 6? Luluai, here is French, wide to Bibby, and Bibby. Regan Grace makes the tackle just inside the Saints half they are now. Here is Tommy Luluai, signed on for another year. That'll be good news. And here is Oliver Gildart, and Gildart running, gets the ball to Burgess, and Burgess cuts in field. Referee is going to bring him back.
Is it a crossing? Does he run around his own player?
The first infringement is a pullback by Bentley, who's then been
Or is a pullback, the referee's saying? Well, I didn't see it when it was live. It was good play, wasn't it? Over on the right side for Wigan. Jay Bibby did the right thing, stayed in field, played the ball quick, and then Wigan shifted the ball right to the other coast. And there's a bit of, well, for me, Bentley and Jackson Hastings, I think that's 6 and 2 threes. It goes in the favour of Wigan. This is, you're right, Bill, this is the deepest the Warriors have been in Saints' territory.
Well, now it's Saints' turn to do a bit of defending. Can they measure up as Wigan have done in the opening quarter of this game with some sterling defence? And now we'll see what the Cherry and White's attack is like. Singleton, 5 metres out. That's the second tackle. Powell, Hastings, Partington coming back infield. Roby there among the tacklers. Sam Powell to Hastings gets it to Luluai to Liam Farrell. 4 tackles gone. 5 metres away are the Warriors. It's Luluai, the ball spills from him, and it's Saints who have it, but Saints concede it. There's a knock on there.
First knock on Saints, I think, Bill.
Sure it will be.
To play the ball there, Wigan ball.
Yeah, there's a celebration there from Brad Singleton. He knows in the first quarter his side have been under all the pressure. They've showed that control and that patience when it's been time to defend. They've turned up and they've defended. Now it's time for the Warriors to apply some pressure to the Saints.
Grimace from Cook Islander Zeb Tear once the Catalan Dragons Adrian Lam, hoping that his side can take advantage of this situation. They've had a penalty, and then on the back of that they've had a Saints knock on, and they're only about 10 metres away from that Saints try line. Here is Powell now. Powell for Hastings for Tony Clubb. In his 15th Super League season, Clubb. Short ball finds Singleton. 3 tackles gone. Powell. Luluai to Farrell once again. And the Saints defenders there once again to stop Farrell's progress. Bentley leading the way. Here is Powell now. Powell, Tommy Luluai. Luluai's pass to Jackson Hastings. Hastings to Bevan French, and just good work from Wellesby.
That is great reading defence from the youngster.
And you could hear the roar from the sideline from the Saints camp at that tackle. Ball batted down, and it's Bentley who gets to it first.
Well, isn't he a good player? Bentley, normally high 40s in the tackles every week for Saints. Tommy Makinson again with the answer. It looks like he's been shot out of a cannon a few times in this game.
Well, Saints bring the ball away. Is it Isa who's down still? No, it's...
Is it Sam Powell?
Time off.
Whoever it is, it's Joe Burgess, I think. He's pretty groggy.
It was mean line speed from Willie Isa. Bad intentions going off that line, trying to halt his progress. You know you need to meet.
Well, there you go. He just clips the hip of Willie Isa.
You know you need to meet Tommy Makinson. Put your body in front of him or he'll beat you. And Willie Isa, well, he's running too fast to make those subtle changes that he needs to make that tackle on Tommy Makinson. But if he can slow Makinson down and allow his teammates to complete the tackle, that's his focus. And it ends up Joe Burgess smashes into the knee of Willie Isa.
Look at this from Jack Welsby. That's quality. That's on a player who has had all the freedom this year in Bevan French, a real star of Super League in 2020, but that youngster handled him, and he had to make sure that when he pulled the trigger to go in to get him, made sure he took him down.
19 years of age. I mean, Harry Newman got Young Player of the Year.
We have got some outstanding players.
Welsby was a candidate, and he is a versatile Young Player of the Year.
Centre, standoff, winger, full-back. When you think about the times where he's had to slot in, whether it's been from the start or during games, he's taking over from world-class players all the time, and nobody mentions the fact that he's playing where he's playing. He's a wonderful, talented player.
Well, Mark Percival, of course, unfortunate to miss out, and it is unfortunate. Liam Marshall, likewise, another one whose season was ended by injury in the Wigan camp. Ben Flower missing tonight, and that's the end of his Wigan career. Joe Burgess, let's hope it's not the end of his grand final, as he's led from the field for a head injury assessment. So the coach looking on anxiously as the wingman goes down the tunnel.
He's in good hands.
A reshuffle.
Yeah, he's in good hands with Professor Brooks on his left shoulder. They'll give him the correct time and assessment, and hopefully for Wigan he can come back.
Play continues. Saints in possession. Zebtair just inside his own half. 24 minutes almost gone. Still waiting for the first points of the game. Fifth tackle. It's another stinger from Saints, from Wigan on Saints, and it's a big kick, and French is underneath it, and the reception committee is there for him, Grace and Welsby, but he gets the quick play the ball. Here is Jake Bibby now.
And again, good timing in defence from Saints. Wigan just trying to chew those meters up, bringing the ball away. Willie Isa under some enormous pressure from Walmsley, Bentley and Matty Lees. Look at that line speed over on the right-hand side, getting up really quick, cutting down the options for Wigan.
Here is Tony Clubb. That's the fifth tackle. Again, Wigan deep in their own half. Hastings with the kick was inside his own 40. The kick straight down the middle of the field into the arms of Lachlan Coote.
Bill, another change for the Wigan Warriors. Morgan Smith is the number 16 who's making that tackle. He's replaced Brad Singleton. A good shift. 24 minutes of hard work, and they've been tested defensively, so they need to rotate and manage those energy levels. A little bit of red sweat for the Cumbrian as well.
Making some plays the ball. Here is Kevin Nagama, Fijian international. There is Sean O'Loughlin warming up for the last time for the Wigan Warriors. Sean O'Loughlin, before he bows out. Now then, cutting back in towards the middle of the field. That's the fifth tackle. And here is Fage. Fage dribbles a little kick in, and French well placed, and French returns it and then runs into Lachlan Coote's tackle.
Strange kick that, wasn't it? He had a lot of field to aim at, ended up kicking right into the path of Bevan French. But he was under some pressure, Theo Fage.
Theo Fage looking to join Romain Navarrete and Morgan Escaré as a French winner in the grand final. There's a penalty for a ball steal, and Wigan will welcome that.
Well, the tackle's more or less complete here when Gildart goes down to the ground, and then when you see the ball spill out like that, you know that there's going to be a play, and it was Theo Fies that just has a little tug of that ball.
It's a chilly night at the KCOM Stadium, about 2 degrees. The pitch is slick. There's not a lot of grass on it.
It's hard surface, greasy, slippy. We were up down there earlier on in the afternoon.
Players don't seem to be having a problem with it so far. Here is Smithies now. Another Halifax product, Halifax rugby league scene product, I should say, is Siddle. He was, that's 20-metre line. Wigan are on in Saints territory as Joe Greenwood plays the ball. Tony Clubb takes the pass from Luluai. Roby again leading the tackling effort. Hastings, oh, Gildart gets the pass away. Harnaker skips infield. Harnaker, can he get the ball down? Great defence from the Saints.
Wow.
Sort that one out.
Look at that. Look at the way that everyone is celebrating. And Matty Daniels has come on, he's getting a telling off from the referee, Chris Kendall. Just look at this. You've got Zach Hardaker now on the wing in place of Joe Burgess. To play the ball by Gildart. Look at Zach Hardaker trying everything, and the numbers that push across in a Saints jersey.
So Saints celebrate survival. Here is Louis McCarthy Scarborough. Welcome to the grand final, LMS.
Well, a carry and a tackle born out of the south. LMS tackled by Tony Clubb, 2 former teammates. Here's the attempt from Zach Hardaker. Bodies in the screen, arms around the ball, and that's commitment for the grand final.
Is that the closest we've come by either side?
Yeah.
We've had 28 minutes of absolutely pulverising defence here from both sides.
That's why nobody, the amount of people that said who's going to win the game, Wigan or Saints, I'm like that. Genuinely, you can't call this game.
Coote just outside the 40 as he put that kick in, and Jake Bibby claims it, loops it infield to Bevan French, and French can't make much progress because the chasers are there.
And an intact line as well from both sides. You have to say well done, conditioners, coaches, got players ready, got them at the right fitness levels, the right standard in terms of the rugby league ability for this game at this level. How many games they've played in the short space of time, still not over yet.
Partington, Luluai's pass finds Bevan French. Needed good defence there from Regan Grace and Wellesby to stop Bevan French progress. Here is Tommy Luluai now, and Sean O'Loughlin is on in his 8th grand final. Luluai's kick. Makinson. Luluai just picking himself up now after that, putting that kick in.
James Roby it was, working hard from marker, putting pressure on the Wigan number 7.
Who is going to crack first?
I think I said it about 15 minutes ago that the arm wrestle was in action. We're still in the middle of this arm wrestle. Neither side prepared to give up. Neither side prepared to not fulfill the responsibility. An early kick from Roby again.
Looking for another 40-20. This one hasn't got the legs, and Hardaker is back to claim it. Spoke well in the week, Zach Hardaker, about the redemption, really, that Wigan have offered him in terms of his career. He's had his career highlights, he's had his career lowlights. Of course, he missed the 2017 grand final through suspension. But said that Wigan and the Wigan community have helped him immensely since he came to the club. He'd like to repay them with grand final success. Sean O'Loughlin would like to bow out. He doesn't owe them anything, but he'd like to bow out, having just turned 38 with another grand final success. Greenwood has lost the ball in the tackle. Matty Lees picks it up. Saints will try and take advantage of that.
Again, it's just so physical in the communication from both sides, knowing that they don't want to be the player that misses a tackle or just doesn't quite plug that gap and leaves the space to go through.
There isn't any space.
It doesn't even have to be a big fancy player that's going to win this grand final as well.
Here is Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Just signed a new deal, one-year deal with the Saints, which is not bad for a lad from the East End of London. Millwall supporting. Lomax gets the pass away to Zebtea. Now then, here is Theo Fage. Fage, little kick on the end of and the ball comes back to Fage, and it's on the last now. Lucky break for Saints, maybe, as the ball ricocheted back into the hands of Theo Fage. That one just ends up in the hands of Jackson Hastings, but there is nowhere for him to go.
That was a poor end to the set from Saints in the right area of the field, but again, you've got to credit the Warriors the way that they're clinging on. Whenever there's been questions asked at a try line, they're turning up, and they're turning up in numbers.
Grand finals often come down to the best kicking game. Saints had 2 attempts there. There was bodies in the frame for Wigan. You have to say that Wigan are on the better side of that kicking game. They're dealing with whatever Saints are throwing at them.
Well, here's Gildart. It's just a little bit of space now for Hardacre. Hardacre beats the first challenge. McCarthy Scarsbrook gets a hold of him. The support comes in eventually from Morgan Knowles. Hastings now lobs the ball over the top. Greenwood claims it. Pulls onto it this time, but they're on just inside, in fact, Saints territory, and Luluai just has to drill the kick downfield, and Coots will get it at the second attempt. Again, great kick pressure from the Saints there.
This is outstanding. This is absolutely outstanding.
It is relentless, isn't it? It is absolutely relentless. 33 minutes we've had.
You know what, Wigan are having some decent joy whenever Jackson Hastings gets the ball, and it's a long cut-out ball, especially over the left-hand side of Oliver Gildart. This trying to find some space and letting the ball do the work.
Good run from Bentley, but going across the field. Joe Burgess is all right. He will be back. He's passed his head injury assessment. Good news for the Wigan Warriors. Here is Zebtea now. Runs behind Kyle Amor. Now Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Gildart making the tackle. Here is Coote now. Coote, little kick ahead. Making some chasing. French is there and does well, Bevan French, because the chase was impressive. Hardacre sees off the challenge of Makinson, but in comes Bentley to bring him down.
Well, you'd think these next few carries are going to be really difficult. Willie Ikes has come from far over on the right-hand side, over to the left there to get this ball, knowing that it's all hands on deck here.
It's all hands on deck. It's man the barricades, because this is a grand final. There might not be a crowd here, but you would not have thought that the way these two sides are going at it. The intent is there. The intensity is there. Hastings kicks high.
Bill, I just want to draw your attention again. 27
Coote
metres.
has made a hash of it. Sorry, Barry, but Coote has made a hash of that.
27 metres the Wigan Warriors made with ball in hand. They kicked from deep, and that's a bad mistake from St Helens. I think that's just the 4th mistake, the 4th handling error in either side. Oh, desperately disappointed. Lachlan Coote, the quality fullback.
You don't see that happen very, very often. Adrian Lamb, knowing that this is an opportunity with half-time approaching. Whose ball should that have been? Might be the question at the back for Saints. Oh, Lachlan's pass is astray. Oh, dear me! And it's in the hands of Nagama, and an opportunity goes begging.
Confusion, wasn't there? What, we in 4 minutes till half-time. Players exhausted mentally and physically. Adrian Lamb frustrated. Not an out-and-out chance, but everything, every little advantage you can get. Good shoulder again from Thomas Luluai. Well, there's the two contrasting emotions by both coaches.
Here is Coote. He'll be mighty relieved at the outcome of that. Here's Kyle Amor.
We've never got to half-time in a grand final without a score. Been scored. The nearest we got to it was Saints against Wigan.
We're not there yet.
No, nearest we got to it, Saints against Wigan 4 years ago. And Joe Burgess scored right on the buzzer, if you remember.
Fage on the last, hoist that kick. The ball is squirreled back, and it's French under pressure. The referee, I think, is going to bring him back. Was there a knock-on?
Yeah, it's a knock-on, isn't it? High kick. It was probably a little bit too high. It gave everybody too much time to think. A knock-on from Tommy Makinson, and even though Bevan French still secured possession, they'll go back and give the player the ball on the 10-metre line. Just look at the intensity in this defence again. 37 minutes on the clock, and players still running as hard and as fast as minute one.
They're going to welcome that half-time hooter and a respite from this, because, as I said, it has been absolutely non-stop.
Bill, everyone around you inspires you. If someone next to you gets a hit, like Matty Lees does, then everyone who gets back, their next one to get a hit. They don't want to be left waiting in a little hole, not getting up in the line, not doing the job and not working with the teammate.
Is Luluai. Luluai gets the ball to Bevan French. Lomax, Amor and Zektea making the tackle. Luluai on the last, kicks deep downfield, and Coote, that one just getting away from him. Now here is Makinson now. Can one of these two break the deadlock before we hear that half-time hooter? Here is Regan Grace.
And do you know what as well, Bill? You've got to be a bit composed. Knowing that the clock has only got 2 minutes left to go before half-time, you don't need to score in this half to win the game. You just got to get through your sets and just keep doing what's cut the game like this.
Fage making inroads to that Wigan defence, but eventually Farrell and Hardacre make the tackle. Here is Lomax. Lomax brings it back to this right-hand side, and then Bentley changes direction. Good work from Hastings to stop Bentley's progress. It's kick from Coote, and there's a penalty there.
Well, this might be the first point. We see a bit of a coming together between Sam Powell and Kyle Amor.
James, go.
Pushing and shoving, real passion. Whenever these two sides play, there's passion on show. Controlling that passion, using that energy will be the key to this victory. Morgan Smithies, yeah, that's an out-and-out shoulder charge, that. You know, we've talked all week, haven't we? Those of us that are asked opinions on games like this. Who do you think's going to win? Well, I talked myself into a Saints win at the start of the week. I talked myself into a Wigan win by the end of the week. Now I'm completely confused. And most people are talking about a golden point.
You asked the question, how's that different to the other ones? In our view, that one's a shoulder charge, so you need to be very, very careful in that area. It's a penalty only.
Chris Kendall just giving Morgan Smithies a ticking off.
Shoulder charge. Two fellas,
for that shoulder charge, and we might get the first points of the game with under a minute to go, because Lachlan Coote is lining up the penalty attempt. He's kicked 68 goals this season to make him Super League's top goal kicker. But this is the first opportunity he has had in this contest. Scottish international. And the man who got 24 points last week in the playoff victory against the Catalan Dragons that sent Saints through to this grand final. So the shoulder charge by Wigan, and Coote, as the hooter sounds, It's not going to put him off. Coots on target. And that was the final kick of the first 40 minutes. What a 40 minutes it has been in this grand final, as you would expect, between Wigan and St Helens. And Saints are ahead by 2 points to 0.
Yes, thanks very much, Bill, Barry and Terry. The lowest scoring half in grand final history, the longest we have gone without a try in a grand final. Unsurprising when you consider the calibre of the defences on show. First and second in the league, just 2 points separated them on the league ladder. Just 2 points separate them in the 2020 grand final. We'll look over that first half in the company of Jason Robinson, Danny Maguire and Phil Clark after this.
The ball in Bevan French's hand. I think there's a few opportunities left in this game.
Jason?
I'm going to stick with my Wigan. Yeah, I think they might just edge it, and I think it might come from an interception try.
Phil, are you buying my narrative of a golden point win for St Helens?
No, I think they might just about do it before we get to the final hits, but Wigan look really dangerous when they move the ball wide. That pendulum of swinging and French from side to side, they look like they could find points.
Both sides are back out on the field here. Zach Hardacre with a little more ink on the top of his head. This time, of course, not deliberately. Let's go back to our commentary team. Bill Arthur is with Barry McDermott and Terry O'Connor. Boys, take it away.
Thank you, Brian. Saints seeking their 7th grand final win and a record equaling 8th Super League title, because they won as league leaders in 1996. They lead by 2 points to 0 as Lachlan Coots gets the second half underway. And can it possibly be as full on as that first 40 was? Is there as much in the tank? Batteries recharged after that half-time interval, and there's just as much vigorosity in that Saints defending right at the start of this second half. Here is Greenwood for the Warriors.
Will it be as full on, Bill? Yes, it will. 40 more minutes to go before this season in 2020 is over, and both sides will not show any weaknesses.
The kick from Hastings, collected by Lachlan Coots. Scorer of the only points so far is Regan Grace, but Joe Greenwood's back in the side tonight, very quick to close him down once at St Helens. Greenwood made 77 appearances for the Red V. Here is Kev Nagama, just inside his own half as he is brought down. 3 tackles gone. Kyle Amor.
You guarantee that both coaches will be really happy in the opening 40 minutes, and they're talking about not panicking because opportunities will present themselves in the game if they keep still working the process and working to the game plan. Sooner or later, somebody's just going to crack.
Coote goes to the air early on, and French claims it. And here is Bevan French countering for the Wigan Warriors. A chance to go downstairs and hear from Jenna Brooks.
Thanks very much, Bill. Wigan's head coach, Adrian Lamb, called it a really competitive first half. He's extremely happy with their defensive effort, and he's just asked the boys for more composure when they get the ball up their end. Christian Wolf has also called it a great game of rugby league. He said that there will be an opportunity at some stage when fatigue comes in, and they just have to be ready to take it.
That's exactly it, isn't it? Because the chances are going to be few and far between.
Bill, I keep coming back to those key words, those 2 words, patience and control. Controlling your emotions, and when the game means that you have to defend, turn up Wigan, turning the ball back inside, trying to target those middle men, as they did in the first half.
On the last, Luluai. Kick into the corner, and Coote having nothing to do with it. Good kick.
And just as the ball goes out of play, when at half-time, a number of the players, the squad members from both sides, Wigan and Saints, were all congregating, socially distanced, of course, congregating, all saying to each other, how good was that first 40 minutes? So both teams, both sets of players, knowing what a classic match this has been so far.
But only the penalty goal from the man in possession at the moment, Lachlan Coots for St Helens. That is all that separates these two sides. Here is fresh-faced Jack Welsby. Here is more experienced Zeb Taylor, 36 years of age, parting company with the Saints after this game. Didn't think he'd be in Europe that long when he signed, and Farge, did he cling on to that? He did! Miraculous from Theo Farge.
Great effort that, wasn't it, from the Frenchman? Sean O'Loughlin was celebrating. Look at this.
Oh, his life would have flashed in front of his eyes then, bobbling a ball in front of Wigan defenders.
Here's Joe Burgess back on the field after that head injury. Came through his assessments. And French, Roby flying in to complete the tackle with Zeb Taylor. And that is the first time we've heard that set restart.
Well, the look called a referee, hasn't it? In terms of the ruck speed and the wrestle, we often find in grand finals fewer penalties given, and that's the first occasion Chris Kendall has blown his whistle and given 6 again.
There was only 3 set restarts last time these two sides met, and that was the fabulous game that we were speaking about before.
Greenwood. Lou McCarthy, Scarsbrook just hobbling away from that tackle. Seems to be all right as Wigan move into Saints territory. Here is Lulawai. The pass reaches Jake Bibby. Bibby manages to cut infield and stay on the pitch. That's the 5th tackle. The ball with Tommy Lulawai now. Lulawai loops the pass on to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin to Hastings. Hastings, little kick ahead. Hastings will chase it, and Lachlan Coote nowhere for him to go.
Quality play at the back from Lachlan Coote. He spots the danger when that ball shifted over to Wiggins' left. And when Sean O'Loughlin gives it to Jackson Hastings, he knows that he's got 3 players on the outside of him, but he also knows that Jackson Hastings is a runner. He spots some space, he kicks the ball, he puts pressure on Coote, and that's what it means to the coach.
So Wigan force the goal line dropout. Coote scuttles it along the ground towards the halfway line, where Sean O'Loughlin brings it back. He's played more than 500 games and in 8 grand finals, Sean O'Loughlin, and he's just, well, this evening succeeded Jamie Peacock in the record books as the oldest grand finalist. Here is Tommy Lulawai. Lulawai, lovely. Oh, Bibby couldn't take the pass. It went behind him, or he went in front of it, one or the other.
They created that space, Wigan. If that pass is just probably 2 or 3 inches more accurate, Bevan French ticks one for his corner as well. You can see Regan Grace knows he has to shut that play down. But Saints turning up, making sure they've got bodies in the way. Lachlan Coote, when he was around about the vicinity when the goal line dropout was forced, the amount of ground he had to make up was unbelievable.
Wigan, early stages of the second half, but they've started strongly. And again, getting to the edge and almost exposing the Saints' defence. Here is Kyle Amor now. Signed another 1-year deal, like Lou McCarthy Scarsbrook, extending his stay with the club. Farge. Eventually the tackle is completed and Kevin Nagama picks up and runs.
You know, both sides are finding it really difficult to find some space. I think it's going to be like a show and go from a halfback that's going to break the side down.
Farge kicks and it finds a bit of space. It bounces and French.
They've done a good job on Bevan French, haven't they? He's had no room, no space whatsoever. Has made countless breaks during 2020. LMS trying to shut Joe Burgess down, making sure he doesn't break the line either.
Succeeded in doing that. Here's Jake Bibby, signed as a centre, but has come on as a wing. Of course, we mentioned Liam Marshall missing out. Got to also mention Don Manfredi again.
Yes, just bumped into him as well. Disappointed to be missing out, but keen to get back for next year.
Here is Greenwood, who got the call after Ben Flower was ruled out tonight. Hastings kicks downfield, graces underneath that one, came straight to him. Lulawai, another really strong tackle from him. Jack Wellsby now.
Bill, when you're defending in the middle of the field and you see the wingers come in to carry the ball off the ruck, you know that they're not going to shift the ball. You know that you don't really have to worry about the space on the edge, because that's where the wingers would normally be. You just got to make sure you bottle up that defence around the play of the ball.
Hastings has got a whack in the face, I think a stray boot maybe. He's still on the ground on the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle. He's in quite a bit of discomfort. And I think it was tail end of that previous tackle.
He's down low, isn't he, around about the boots. And while he's trying to get his feet, Nguama, while he's trying to steady himself, plant that foot.
It's just that first one, isn't it? The left one.
Purely accident.
Played hooker last week, didn't he? I thought he was really strong. Like 54 tackles he made in that game against Hull FC. No Sam Powell, so obviously someone had to step into the breach, and it was that man Jackson Hastings. Took away his running game, obviously, for Adrian Lamb, but he knew what he had when he put him there.
There's a little bit of blood, isn't there?
Just a little bit.
Just on the cheek there. It was an intense carry from Nguama off the back of, I think it was Theo Fars, who wasn't put to the floor. The referee said play on. Ball hit the floor, ball carrying arm hit the floor, tackle was made. Yeah, looks like he's got 2. He's definitely caught the studs, hasn't it?
Lost in last year's grand final with Salford, Jackson Hastings, and then made the move to the Warriors. And a lot of speculation towards the conclusion of the regular season about where he might be next year.
Yeah.
And yet he's staying with Wigan.
They'll have a number of options next year in that department. Adrian Lamb, a former number 7 for this great club as well. And thankfully for him, his half-back, wearing 31 of course, is fit to carry on.
And Saints in possession after that run from Nagama. On the last, it's Coote, man of steel contender. French underneath. Kaiser Makinson arrives to make the tackle.
Again, he catches that ball, and Saints, well, again, I cannot emphasize how much energy you need to keep doing this time after time after time, and do it accurately as well. Still make those tackles.
Good offload from Sean O'Loughlin to Sam Powell. There is O'Loughlin again, and Greenwood now. Hastings, Sean O'Loughlin, he made his first grand final appearance. He was a standoff in 2003 for Wigan against the Bradford Bulls. Oh, Coote, the ball goes backwards. Went back, says Chris Kendall, play on.
You can even see the experience with Lachlan Coote, knowing that he didn't quite have that ball, then he just turned his body backwards. You can see, look, he just makes sure the ball goes behind him instead of in front of him. Again, the Saints side of making meters. They're starting to get some quick play the ball to you.
Makinson hit that one at pace and made some good yards.
Yeah, 12, 13 metres on the bump, on the front foot, Saints.
Saints a bit of momentum just at the moment, making some inroads. Here is Kyle Amor now. Amor, good leg drive. That's the 5th tackle there, 20 metres away from the Wigan Warriors try line as the ball reaches Lomax. Lomax onto Coote. Coote, little grubber kick from Coote. And again, the immaculate Bevan French is there, but he cannot escape the clutches of the Saints follow-up. And it'll be another goal line dropout.
We have got 2 outstanding fullbacks on show. You just look at Coote there, he doesn't panic. When Thomas Lulawai just comes up in the line, he knows that he can't pass the ball, or Zach Hardacre, sorry. He knows he can't pass the ball, so what he does, he kicks the ball behind. And he knows that Wellsby and Regan Grace will be there to pressure. Bevan French, who is key for this Wigan side at the back.
So Saints get the ball back, and it is with Kyle Amor. Gets away from the first challenge. Bullock came bullocking out to get him and missed. Still, the side separated by one penalty goal by Coots right at the end of the first half. Fage. Bullock makes the tackle. Roby picks up darts. Still going, Roby looks. You can see him scanning, looking to see what was on. And it very nearly opened up for him. It's O'Loughlin makes the tackle. Fage, Willie Isa pounces on him. Moments hesitation from Fage, and Isa was all over him. Roby. The ball is back with Lomax. Lomax kicks into space, and Hastings looks a mess, but he gets to the ball. He's blood all over his face. Piratical look on the face of Jackson Hastings.
That's an enormous kick, that, from Johnny Lomax. That is quality. Look, he looks over. You've got the Saints players outside, directing him where he wants. And LMS and Johnny Lomax chasing up his own kick, looking to build that pressure, drop the ball behind the try line.
Matty Lees now. Saints enjoying most of the possession in the early exchanges in this second half. Here is Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, but again Wigan's defence is resilient. Here is Fage now. Lomax nonchalantly stretches out a hand to claim that ball. Coote. Bullock gets a hold of him. Powell completes the tackle. Here is Lomax. Lomax. Kyle Amor. Powell, second attempt. Brings down the Cumbrian. Roby. Lomax. Oh, he thought it had opened up, and then Tommy Luluai arrived. Not so fast, son. Roby. Little kick from Roby. The ball bounces up for Zeb Taya. And Taya dots it down. Did he run out of room? Was he offside? No try, said Chris Kendall. It was one of those, I reckon.
It didn't feel like a try, did it? I don't think the players, there wasn't a celebration, but more pressure. And Saints just piling it on this Wigan side. Mirror image of the first half. Well, it looks like he's onside on that angle. Difficult to see whether the foot is touching the ball. And it's gone up as no try from Chris Kendall. And he's in the perfect position.
You'd love to see that angle on the side, wouldn't you? You'd love to see, does James Roby get his foot to the ball? We couldn't see it on the first shot. On that one, it looks like it's on the line.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Well, from that angle, I would say that he's onside. The live call, though, is that he's offside.
Yeah. He's actually in the way of his left boot, isn't it?
Look at his left boot there. So he's onside there.
But he hasn't touched the ball yet.
No, I'm saying he's onside there. He's still onside there, Barry. Still onside, but you can't see the ball. You can't see the ball with the boot from that angle. And this is the difficult decision now for the video referee, Ben Fairley. It's been sent upstairs as a no try from Chris Kendall. And you just look at the lines on the pitch, where Zeb Taya is, where the ball's kicked from Roby. And I think the video referee will just have to go with the live call here.
So the kick from Roby. Zeb Taya there looked offside.
Yes, and as we said, as soon as it went up, didn't feel like a try. The players didn't celebrate. Obviously, the referee sends it up as a no try. You look at these things enough times, you can see what you want to see, can't you? I think the referee and the video referee, they agree. It's a no try.
We didn't even get to see the grounding. I'm not sure he managed to get that down before his feet went from underneath him and he ended up over the dead ball line. Well, here you go.
Well, this just shows that it is a game of inches built. The scoreboard suggests that. There's two nervous sides out there, both trying everything, both working really hard in defence and in attack.
So close to signing off on his farewell appearance for Saints.
Forward pass.
It was.
Oh, wow. What a big mistake from Wigan. Under that line speed pressure, Wigan, through Willie Isa, a simple hand-on play to Joe Bullock, who's probably, in his eagerness to get over the ad line, just a little bit in front of his teammates. There you go. Well, Saints will get the ball back.
Look at the glee.
Excitement. Do you remember when these sides met 4 weeks ago? I think it was Regan Grace that made the mistake, and Brad Singleton went up to him, rubbing his head. Very similar then from the way Saints reacted in the face of the Warriors.
Here is Louis McCarthy Scarisbrook then. Well, Wigan had a let-off just a moment ago with that disallowed try. They thought they'd escaped, but they hadn't. They've handed possession back to Saints. Saints appealing for a high tackle on Bentley. Nothing doing from the referee. Matty Lees hits that ball at pace. James Graham going. Matty Lees will be expected to step up and fill the space left by the big man. Here is Lomax running. 5 metres out. Roby. Morgan Knowles now. Wigan back on their own try line. Knowles wrestles himself free and Roby runs. Roby for the line, but his great defence.
Wow. Wow. What a game this is, Bill. How much pressure have Wigan been under? 2 low goal line dropouts. The forward pass that gave Saints the possession, and still they turn up to defend.
And it was Joe Bullock who was the culprit in gifting Saints possession with that forward pass. Not Willie Isa as well, I suppose, but Bullock was there to bring down James Roby. It's been enthralling up here, John. John Wilkin on the sideline. What's it like down there?
Bill, unbelievable. This is one of the highest quality games of RL I've seen for some time. And one thing about Wigan's defence, a nuance of how they defend, is how well Bevan French fills in the defensive line. It's stifling Saints' ability to create numbers. Really smart fullback play. You don't half help but think Saints need more ambition with the ball. It looks like for the only points for them is going to come from the kick at the minute.
Thanks, John. As the kick comes from Jackson Hastings. And it's Regan Grace. Picks it up, returns it as far as Zach Hardacre and Willie Isa.
Both sides really respecting the possession of the ball, both completing over 80%. Dominic Peru now with his first carry. So again, it just seems a bit too quick, that Willie Isa going again for Lachlan Coote, spots him.
Dom Peru is on his farewell appearance as well. He is moving on. He'll be with Toulouse Olympique next year. One of the candidates to take the vacant place in Super League. As the kick comes in, and Bevan French, it sits up nicely for the Wigan Warriors fullback.
There was just a moment in that last set of 6. Johnny Lomax spotted Brad Singleton. Expect some of those quicker, more agile players as we come up to the last quarter of this game to try and find a bigger man who's a little bit gassed, a little bit tired.
Sean O'Loughlin looking on anxiously from the sidelines. He has seen so much. And there is James Graham, who was signed by Mike Rush, the current Saints chief executive, when he was head of the Saints Academy all those years ago. And they signed James Roby the following week, and the two have gone on to be absolute stalwarts and stars of this St Helens side of the club. Here is Lomax. Lomax finds a bit of space, does well over the 40-metre line.
Johnny Lomax, the 05's just having a crack, looking up and going at those middle defenders. Again, you can see the Warriors through Oliver Gillard coming up really fast on the outside, trying to turn the Saints back into the middle of the field.
Massive defensive performance this from the Wigan Warriors, because St Helens have surely dominated possession in this second half.
It has been all saints in this second half. The play, the ball speed just seems so much faster from them.
Here they are now with Fage. Fage gets some loft on that kick. And it's Burgess who goes for it, and
full penalty. Dominic Perry, I think it was, Bill. Like, you can go up and you can challenge for the ball. And when Burgess goes up here, look at him focusing. Dominic Perry just goes up, spins his body around, and just takes him, nudges him from catching this ball cleanly.
Doesn't make any attempt to challenge for it.
Christian Wolf will be really disappointed with that.
So it lets Wigan off the hook. And can they make the most of the opportunity? Partington back on.
He was really good in his first spell. Partington, I thought he carried the ball really strongly.
Little dummy from French. It's Jake Bibby.
Hasn't Regan Grace been good in defence? On his opposite number there, Jake Bibby has come up with a few.
Luluai, here is Hastings. Hastings floats the ball out to Gildup, cries of forward. Burgess does well to take the pass. Tangle of bodies down there, Gildup on the floor. And now here is Hastings, blood oozing from that cut on his brow. Willie Isa gets the ball to Hardacre, and there is Regan Grace. And the Welsh international does good. Hardacre felt that. Luluai into a bit of space. Fage is there. Fage is immediately pounced on by Wigan, and it's Wigan's turn to put the pressure on. Wigan's turn to force the goal line dropout.
That's the second one for Wigan Warriors. They've conceded 3, but only earned 2. And it was a wonderful kick, but what about the chase here? The defenders hold Theo Fage up. It's Bevan French, holds him up, and then the rest of the team come in to join. Approval from the coach.
Were St Helens complaining that Theo Fage was still in the air when he was taken?
I think timing, he's just down. Look at that. Morgan Knowles, Ollie Partington. He will not back down to anyone, Morgan Knowles. I think he come off second best though then.
Yeah.
He's back on his feet.
Yeah, the ref just want to have a little look at him then.
Yeah, they'll watch him.
When he rocks backwards here, you can see that he goes out and he's more or less out, and then he bounces back up.
And Partington's still got time to give him some friendly advice as the ball reaches Jake Bibby.
Do you think that's what he was saying?
Look at this.
Bibby plays the ball. Here is Tommy Luluai. Onto Powell, onto Jackson Hastings. And a quick pass, and again.
Good hit.
But it comes from the pressure, doesn't it? It comes from the work from Tommy Makinson. He knows he's outnumbered, shuts that play down, and Bevan French, albeit wonderful skill to catch and pass, he's just not accurate enough to find Joe Burgess.
They'll get another set the way the ball comes off Tommy Makinson and goes into touch. So this will be Wigan's ball. You can see what it means to the coach, Christian Wolf. Bevan French, you've got to cut his space down, you've got to cut his thinking time down. Another set to contend with though here.
Great battle between the fullbacks, Coote and French going on, has been going on. Hastings, Farrell, cut down by Fage, Nakama up top, Powell, but they're only 10 metres away now, the Wigan Warriors. Here is Hastings. Hastings gets the pass away to Luluai. Luluai bursts through the first. The second line of defence is there to stop him. Powell, Partington. 5 metres or so away from that Wigan try line. Powell. Here is Luluai now. Luluai, ball over the top to Bibby, and Bibby, stumbles as he to touch, and there was the hint of an opportunity there.
But you see it, and you want to take that chance, but you just can't get there. You've been waiting for it for 62 minutes, and the ball there from Bevan French, and it's just that little jump in the air that takes the momentum away. When he gets this ball from French, it's just that, and then the little skip, and he falls over, and there is space in front of him. No, he takes that cleanly. That could have been a try, but again, what it means to both of these coaches, not only when you're coming up with big offensive players, but defensive players as well.
Yes, you can talk about the pass, but I'm absolutely blown away with both sides defensively this evening. Numbers getting over. Even when it looks like there's a chance, they're still getting there.
Let's go down to John Wilkin.
Yeah, it's a bit of an illusion how St Helens defend. So Kevin Nkwama and Jack Wellesby very aggressive, and that gives this illusion of space. But Saints work really hard in the loop around the back and really putting the Wigan wingers under so much pressure. We've spent a lot of time praising how Wigan have defended, but we're seeing some world-class defence from St Helens too.
Wormsley is back on the field. Thanks, John. Roby doesn't get great distance on that kick. It's into the arms of Joe Burgess. These two, they are running themselves into the ground, these two sides. Last game of the season, and they'll have a well-earned break after this. I'm not sure when pre-season will start. Probably will be after Christmas, early in the new year. March the 11th is the start of the new season, and of course it's World Cup year as well in 2021. Such a lot to look forward to. Well, who will go into it as reigning Super League champions? St Helens hold the crown at the moment, and they lead in this game by 2 points to 0.
Thomas Luluai just teasing the Saints defence, playing that ball short. At some point, it will go out of the back.
Hastings. Makinson is underneath it. And goes to ground before Burgess and Farrell pounce.
Well, they know as soon as he gets this ball, Makinson, he's got to get to ground. So close to the try line. Burgess would have tried to hold him up and push him over the line again. He gets his hands on the ball. He just can't make the meters like he did last week. Tommy Makinson, Johnny Lomax again examining those forwards around the middle, around the play of the ball.
Roby. Wellesby. That's the 5th tackle. And Saints, with Coote kicking, are on their own 20, and the ball is in Wigan hands, 25 metres away from the Saints try line. Great kick pressure there. And what is it going to pay in terms of dividends for the Wigan Warriors? Farrell then, 20 metres away from the Saints try line. Morgan Smithies. He's held. Powell. Here is Jackson Hastings. Hastings to Luluai. Luluai, they're coming to this side again. They're coming to Bibby again. And Bibby will get in. Grand final try scorer last year. Grand final try scorer this year. And finally, the try scoring deadlock is broken. And Jake Bibby is the man who does it for the Wigan Warriors. Adrian Lamb, cool and composed. He knows there is a long way to go in this game, but his side have got their noses in front.
Well, 65 minutes to score the first try from that man, Jake Bibby. And it's going to come down to who can control their nerve going into the game, going into the final 15 minutes of the game. And Theo Fies losing the ball. Good pressure and defence from the Warriors. The ball shifted out. And they've done a decent job on cutting those players down, Regan Grace and Jack Wellesby. On that occasion, they just couldn't quite close the player down. You can see Wellesby just biting in, and then Regan Grace tries to just stop that play, but the space on the edge for Bibby. Adrian Lamb knows that that's the try, but this game is not over yet.
Jake Bibby, the man who was signed as a centre but has made his name as a wing in the last couple of months. He's played 7 of the last 8 games on the wing. And it's his try that has put the Wigan Warriors in front in this grand final. Zach Hardacre. He's kicked 62 goals this season, not far behind Coote, and he's kicked another one. Oh, no, it looked like it. Oh, and Hardacre runs away and holds his head.
A little smile from the Wigan centre, but he played a crucial role in that last try. A moment or two ago, I talked about Thomas Luluai feeding the players, giving a short pass, but he doesn't. He puts it behind the Zach Hardacre run, and that's what gives a slight opportunity to Bevan French, and he just hands it accurately into the path of Jake Bibby. First try on 65 minutes. Wow.
And Jake Bibby making it tries in 3 of the last 4 games for the Wigan Warriors. He really is in good form. Brad Singleton, head strapped, back on the field for the Warriors. So 4-2.
Bill, we've talked all night about defence, and sometimes the numbers don't tell the full story. But the 2 high tackle counts, or the 2 players with the highest tackle counts, Sam Powell with 58, and listen to this one, 61 tackles from James Bentley, 62 tackles from James Bentley. Phenomenal.
He has been outstanding, especially since the lockdown, James Bentley, since the return from the lockdown, I should say. As Grace is underneath that kick, once to the Bradford Bulls. He was the 2017 Championship Young Player of the Year, James Bentley. There is Coote.
Now, what will that try do to this game? Will it force teams to break open, use the ball, find some space? It's been the arm wrestle. Back reference the remark on probably 12 minutes the arm wrestle has started. Well, it's only just finished.
Here's Nagama playing the ball for Saints. Theophage, Lomax. Wigan's defence has been resilient so far tonight. 5th tackle, and Fage gets some height on that kick, and Welsby was chasing, but French again solid underneath that high ball.
Need some strong defence here now, the Saints. You can see that they're going to find it really difficult, the Warriors. This ball goes up just again. How he's calm and composed at the back. Bevan French so controlled.
Here is Willie Isa, done his bit during the this pandemic crisis, as Willie Isa has had so many clubs, so many players throughout the Super League, seeing Willie Isa helping out in the local community. Powell now. Here is Jackson Hastings. Hastings, big kick into the arms of Regan Grace, and they just have not allowed him any room to manoeuvre. Regan Grace. They saw what he did to the Catalan Dragons last week. That's the danger. Here is Makinson.
There is just no space to find for both of these sides. You know, no team's ever failed to score in a grand final. If that continues, you think that Saints are going to have a chance, and again it's the halves that are running. Talked about it early on in this second half. Theophage and Johnny Lomax getting their hands on the ball and asking some questions. With that little show and go, they get the penalty. When he tucks the ball under his wing, he steps off his right foot.
And Chris Kendall just bringing him back. And Coote, is he eyeing up the posts?
Yeah, he was considering it for a second, wasn't it?
It did look like it.
Just 2 points between the sides.
It would be a tall, or well, where would he? Almost 40. Out. Well, he decided against. Anyway, here is Alex Walmsley, still sporting that superb Mo, doing his bit for Movember. Walmsley, oh, look at that! Again. Look at the hobbling there, and here is Zebtea. 9 minutes to go. Saints trail 4-2. The reigning champions looking for a way through this Wigan defence. Fage was taken out by Hastings, and that is it a penalty though? Well, the players certainly objected to the challenge.
Well, the time's off now because of the injury to Alex Walmsley.
We'll have a look at the contact, but this is no, I think the head jolts back. I think the slip makes it look like it's a little bit too high. That's a great shot for me, Bill.
I think Theophage agreed.
He won't do. He's had his lights knocked out, hasn't he?
Well, in fact, Chris Kendall is
come on. The touch should just come on. Give the penalty away to Jackson Hastings.
They've been hammer and tongue for 71 minutes.
That was high.
Well, that's what it means to Adrian Lam. He knows now that this will be a simple 2 points for Lachlan Coote.
Yeah, he's going to take the 2 here. He considered it on the last set of 6. He's definitely going to take advantage of it. 4-4. I think Carney's right. You know, I think we're going for extra time, golden point here. Never happened before in a grand final. But there's a cigarette paper between these two sides, and I don't know which way.
Well, the implication of that high shot from Jackson Hastings, the debatable high shot from Jackson Hastings, is that Lachlan Coote has, for him, a pretty straightforward kick. You'd have thought for the top goal kicker in the competition, 69 to his name. And this to level the scores with 7 minutes in fact on the clock. The crowd is hushed. Coote is on target. The sides are level at 4 points apiece.
Still can't call this game. We couldn't call it the start of the game. 7 minutes to go, we can't call it. For the Saints fans who are sat at home, Alex Walms, he's just gone back to the dead ball line. He's going to try and continue. There's James Graham getting ready to come onto the field.
What a finale this would be for James Graham and Sean O'Loughlin if their final game went to a golden point decider. There they are, the two of them on the sidelines, two warriors about to hang up their boots. There is Walmsley. Haven't seen any of his rampaging runs.
They've handled him, haven't they? They've got up on him quick. A lot of wrestle, no penalties given, as we've said, or very few penalties given for working in around the ruck.
Here is Zebtea. So that's the 5th tackle. Much too far away for anybody to think of going for 1 point. And the kick is straight into the arms of Bevan French. Not under any great pressure, and Wigan will try and now force their way down the other end of the field with coming up to the last 5 minutes now.
It was just a high kick from Saints, and trying to buy that extra bit of time to get near to Bevan French instead of on the ground. Jake Bibby was up in the line on the left, and Bevan French soon come across to close it down.
3 tackles gone as Hastings goes sideways. 40-metre line there, just inside their own half. That's the 5th tackle. So the ball with Hastings. Doesn't get great depth on that, but Regan Grace is underneath it, and Grace nowhere for him to go.
And Johnny Lomax now just involving himself, just trying to bring his team onto the ball, give him some real encouragement as Jack Wellesby runs into a cherry and white wall.
He's making that familiar little skip as he takes the ball into the challenge. And Hastings and Farrell with the tackle. Walmsley was the dummy runner. Morgan Knowles tackled just inside his own half. Here is Walmsley. They need one of his bulldozing, bullocking runs to get him up the middle of the field, but he's stopped in his tracks, and Fage gets the kick away. French is underneath it. Nagama was challenging, but what a take! What a take from Bevan French under great pressure.
Do you know, with so much at stake, how do you stay that composed when you can see an opposition player challenging you in the air like this?
He's been under the blowtorch all evening, hasn't it? 2 or 3 defenders in front of him. High kicks, he's had to leave the ground, knowing he might get a clout. Well, Sean O'Loughlin returns to the field. Will that lift and inspire the Wigan Warriors?
Here is Hastings. Hastings gets the ball to Bevan French. Theophage, good tackle down low from the French international. So the ball is back with Hastings, and Hastings leathers it downfield into the arms of Grace, and Grace again will wind up and try and find a way. But look at that cherry and white wall ahead of him.
We're going to extra time here, lads. Both sides are going to really struggle in the final 3 minutes to make any meters to get in striking distance of a drop goal.
Here is Coote, just inside the Saints half. 3 tackles gone. Wormsley, Willie Isa, Sean O'Loughlin, Oliver Partington doing the tackling. Here is Lomax. That's the 5th tackle.
Theophage.
Fage is standing back. Is he going to go for it? He can't get any height on it.
No. The previous play was at the wrong side of the field. He was already set. It ended up being just slightly skewed from St Helens' perspective.
And with that play and that kick from Theophage, Wigan now will have 7 tackles. An extra tackle, 20 metres from the line, to get in striking distance to have a goal themselves.
Gildart. Here's Luluai, Sean O'Loughlin. But it looks like his final appearance is going to be one that goes to golden point extra time. 2 minutes to go, unless Wigan now in possession can work themselves into position. It's 6 again. The hooter sounds on. It's a penalty.
That could be it. Theophage was called offside by the referee, Chris Kendall. He got involved, he gave the penalty away. There was a lot of panic that set in because he knew that that play was too quick.
Well, Zach Hardacre, let's not forget when Jake Bibby scores that try in the right-hand corner for Wigan, Zach Hardacre can't convert and turn 4 into 6. And the penalty from a desperate Saints side, knowing they were busted, realising, recognising that they had 6 more tackles to defend. Theophage, I don't know whether he looked at the worst of 2 evils and thought, we need to buy some time somehow. Is Zach Hardacre, does he have the right, correct minerals to turn 2 into 4? Here's the one he missed. It's just it.
That's the one from Jake Bibby's try that hit the crossbar. Now then, he's just inside his own half, is Zach Hardacre, and he's got the chance with just over a minute of this game to go to put Wigan ahead and maybe seal this grand final. Hardacre launches it. Hardacre, it's just short. It's 4 points each, and the game will go surely now to golden point extra time. The first in Super League history.
This has been brilliant, really entertaining from 2 top sides. Who says you need loads of tries for a game to be exciting?
Oh, the anguish of the coach of the year. Last 30 seconds. Here is Lachlan Coote. Who is Nagama? And Nagama, Gildart, it needed that tackle from Gildart. Coote gets the ball away. 4 tackles gone. Fage down the short side. Is there drama yet in this game?
Tommy Makinson.
They're in range. Makinson got his first career drop goal last season in the grand final. Oh! He's hit the post. The chasers are on. The ball is getting there. It's Welsby. Welsby might have got the try. Jack Welsby might have got the try.
He has got that, Bill.
The ball hit the post. And Jack Welsby, the 19-year-old, just got to the ball in time. And right at the death, in the final seconds of this game, Jack Welsby has stolen it, has he? Tommy Lulu, I cannot believe it.
I think he has. It went up as a try. It hit the post. Bevan French didn't know what to do. Tommy Makinson, right-footed drop goal.
Is he onside?
Is he onside there? Is he onside? It's gone up as a try. This is a phenomenal finish. You give up on players like this if you don't see it going over the line.
He's onside. He's onside.
Massive call for the video ref, Ben Thaler.
That's fine for me.
He's onside.
That's fine. And then, do you know, like, you're standing back and you're looking at the sticks and you're looking at the ball going up. Bevan French, all of a sudden, a bit of panic sets in from him, and Jack Welsby all of a sudden accelerates. The Blackbrook club in St Helens, where he played all his junior rugby, the back end of his amateur career, started off at Shevington. Look at this. He gets it, his right leg's up.
My word.
Where's his...
Oh, my word.
He's got it, Bill.
I know what you're looking at, but I think his foot is in play. The ball is controlled and put down. Cue the celebrations from the St Helens players.
Where's his right foot?
It's up in the air. It's up in the air. That's a try.
The most dramatic
about that
to the most engaging game. I can't remember a game like this, and I've watched a lot of games of rugby league.
Jack Welsby, the youngest player on the pitch, the coolest head on the pitch, and the player who has decided this grand final. What a finish! What a finish here at the KCOM Stadium. The Saints players celebrate. And the Wigan players are distraught, absolutely distraught.
It is the cruelest way to lose a game for a Wigan side that's given absolutely everything in this match, but it's all about taking your chances. Tommy Makinson, he has a crack for the drop ball. Bevan French tries to judge the bounce. He gets that round. Jack Welsby turns up, gets the ball, puts it down and wins the game for his side.
Do you know what? That is what dreams are made of. That you've grown up, you've watched professional players play in the grand final, and you score the winning try on the final play, the final second. Saints go back to back, and all from that youngster, Jack Welsby.
This has been a classic.
Phenomenal.
Classic.
Well, Jack Welsby actually lost against Wigan in last year's Academy Grand Final. And Christian Wolf and Richard Marshall alongside him. I don't think they can quite believe what they're seeing. I don't think anybody here can believe what they're seeing. Down below us, James Graham is celebrating. What a dramatic end to his career, his final game. And it ends like this, and a certain irony that Graham bows out at the age of 35, and it's the next generation, Jack Welsby, who have sealed this contest. And Christian Wolf, what a first year it has been. It is back-to-back titles for St Helens then. And a second grand final win for James Graham, and Jack Welsby gets the congratulations of his coach. He cannot believe it.
Nobody can believe it. But like you said, the oldest player and the youngest player now embrace. He's thinking, you've done it for me, kid. You've done it. And that's what it means, the emotion. And let me tell you, I've played in these grand finals. You win, I've won, you've been beaten, and you've absolutely give it everything, and you come off a loser, and there's no tomorrow. But that's what it means when you win those big games.
That knee's not hurting him now.
No, that's the tonic. That's the tonic that you're after.
And Saints, well, this will go down in history, and Sean O'Loughlin, no glorious end to his glorious career, but a memorable end nevertheless. What an end to the season. What a season it has been, a season that has coped with the pandemic and with all the problems that lockdown brought. A feeling almost at one stage that we might not even get to this point. And all credit to the game, to the players and to the coaches. that we have got to this stage, and then we get to the grand final and these two sides put on a performance in a game like this. Woof. That is unbelievable.
You enjoyed
How
it,
do you,
Bill?
I have. How do you pick out? How